Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, 4D. Good evening, Viv.
Good evening, 4D. Good evening, Bronze.
It is the 7th of August, 2025, Storm in a Teacup, episode 26. So, Viv, you've had some drama this week. Tell us about your drama.
Yeah. Friday, get up for work. Water's fine. Come back in the evening. Water's cut. What? How can this happen? So to put a background into this, the water, I don't pay my water bill. I'm not paying for shite, for shite filled with literal shite. Actually sort of feces in the water supply, bromides, estrogen from contraceptive pills, fluoride, heavy metals, all the gunk that comes through our tap. So I'm thinking, damn, they've cut me off. But it is illegal to cut off a domestic water supply in the United Kingdom. So I knew they couldn't have done this. I knew this anyway. But I just wondered. And then I thought, well, maybe they've contacted the landlord. Had a quick look at the legality of all this. No, that would be DMPR non-compliant. You'd be breaking the Data Protection Act by informing the landlord. The landlord has nothing to do with whether you do or don't pay your utility bills or your council tax, neither of which I do. Okay, well, that's my choice. It may come back to haunt me. It may bring trouble down on my head, but there we go. So on Friday, I just had I stayed a bit late. I said, well, listen, my water's cut off. And what happened is the fellow who died below me in May, the old boy, they refurbished his flat, and inadvertently, accidentally, the handyman had cut off the water when they cut off the water to his flat. That's all. Come back, absolutely fine. Absolutely fine.
So was that
they switched it on?
That was just a matter of finding a stopcock, was it, and turning it back on?
Well, yeah. I mean, my mate next door, we went up into the tower where the water tank is, had a look round, saw it was on. So the stopcock was actually turned off in the flat below. I mean, I have this one thing. It's one of my major weaknesses is that I get this really weird feeling if I'm in heights. If I go high, it's a nightmare for me to fly. It's a nightmare for me to walk up ladders. Everything spins. It's not called vertigo. It's called something else. But whatever it is, it's something that I've got. But that's absolutely fine. It all worked out. But what it does strike you is how important fresh water is. I mean, not perhaps for drinking, but certainly for flushing a toilet. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's right. You forget how much we need water for.
Yep, we completely forget, and it's like a privilege. Oh, I'll turn the tap on. On the water comes. But no, it's a miracle. It's actually a modern miracle. About 100 years ago, this wouldn't have happened. 150, 200 years, it would never have happened.
It's not like you've got a well where you can go and bring up some water if you don't have any, is there? We don't have wells anymore, do we? So
no, we don't. No,
if supply stops, you're screwed. So yeah,
absolutely.
So I hesitate to ask for fear of possibly incriminating you, Viv. But did you have to break into the flat downstairs to get to switch the water back on?
No. The landlord did it. I mean, he's cool. He was cool about that. It was absolutely fine. So no worries whatsoever. But for a weekend without water, and obviously my mate next door, helped out. He brought water in, and so it was okay. And then on the Friday, I thought, I can handle this. That's fine. there's an outside tap, but checked the tap, wasn't working. Thought, okay, perhaps it's not going to be so easy. And surviving without water in a modern culture, a modern civilization, is really difficult. Really.
Well, I suppose you could say the same about electricity as well. It's one of those. It's another of those things that everyone takes for granted, and everyone is completely dependent upon these days.
I know.
Unless you live out wild, off grid, or whatever. Yeah.
I know.
It does bring it home to you, doesn't it? It does give you a dose of reality, if you like.
Yeah, a pure dose of cold, hard reality. I think, to be honest, surviving without electricity is perhaps easier than water. At least you can go down and get a Bunsen gas, or rather what's that gas? A gas cooker. You can use candles. You won't have an internet. Maybe that's not such a bad thing.
Yep.
You won't have telly, but I haven't got a telly anyway. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I could much easier do without electricity than I could water. Indeed, yeah.
Funny
because I'm quite a prepper type person. Not just because I'm an ex-squaddy, I guess. You get used to doing stuff like that. But when I was, so I've got all my different prep sort of stuff, and one of them is water. If you lost water, sort of thing. And I was thinking about it from that point of view, that and because I thought, I'll just get this, and I've got the water purifier, and then I'll get this, and then I thought, you forget how many litres of water you need a day when you do the washing up, or you wash your clothes, or as you say, a bath, or which you wouldn't be able to do a bath. Or you'd have a very shallow bath. But and I ended up getting 2 massive 25-litre things that I have to store somewhere, because again they're so big. But that's what you need. You forget you need a lot of water for one person.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible how much water you use. I mean, to keep yourself clean, to flush the toilet, which is one of the worst things. I thought, oh my God, this flat's going to stink if I don't do something about it.
You'd end up going out.
No, really,
you'd probably end up having to go out and fertilize the trees and the bushes outside.
That's what I was thinking.
As long as you've got drinking water, if you haven't got water to flush the waste products away, you are in a really bad, desperate state. It's almost as bad as not having water to drink, because the amount of diseases and problems, and again, it's not something that a lot of people think of. Oh, if my water gets cut off, I'll just go down and shop and get some water to drink. But it's actually, the other side of things that's the dangerous thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why I've got my water purifier, and I was talking to someone just about an hour about it, saying, here where we are, a lot of people are now aware of the feces and waste products that they're pumping into our water supply. Now they've told us it's fine. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not anything secretive. They've told us they're doing it, but they've said it's fine, and it's fine and dandy to be drinking and eating people's waste products. I don't think so myself. And straight away, I've persuaded someone today that the best way is to make your own water, so to speak. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have a water distiller, which, as you guys know, and I think I can do about. I'm not sure. It's the same one you got, Viv. I think is it 3 liters? It does. Is it more than that? 3 liters in every time you use it. And I'm quite shocked at how.
Yes, it's about that. Yeah.
And I'm quite shocked about how much water I go through, because all the water that I use now for drinking and for cooking is distilled water, and obviously for washing and what have you, I just that doesn't bother me so much. But I'm constantly just got the water distiller on the go, because I'm just always running out of water. For
cooking is a bind, isn't it? You use. Well, it makes you monitor how much water you use for your vegetables. But when I boil the vegetables, it's a lot of water you need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know that is quite a tough one. But yeah, so it's yeah, you just don't realize. I don't think.
Just want to point out for the algorithms that Viv is not claiming to be a sanitation expert in any way, shape, or form.
Not at all. Not at all. But I do have a very useful letter, and which, if anyone who reads my Substack would like a copy, I can provide it freely and easily. And it explains how to stop the water companies, the greedy water companies, from hassling you. And it's quite simply the template of a letter that explains that you don't have to pay your water supplier. You don't have to pay them. If you follow my directions, everything will be fine.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
You'd like that? I'll send it to you.
All right. Yeah.
Essentially, what it's saying is, you send a letter. What you do is you send this letter. You do it very, very carefully. Follow the instructions exactly. You need to sign it and post it, right? But follow the directions and it'll be fine. You request from your water supplier a chemical analysis of the water that they supply to your the place in which you live. And then you explain also that you will commission an independent water supply analysis of the water, so that you can match up the two. They will send you something and say, oh, the water supply is absolutely clean, but you need to get another independent supplier, chemical analysis of your water. Offer to pay £1 a month until you receive that analysis, and you will hear nothing back from them. Nothing.
I wonder how much.
And I'll chirp in on this conversation and say I haven't paid water bill for now. I think it's coming on for about 7 or 8 years, and mine is a different reason from Vivs, but I want to pass it out as well. That if you live in a block of flats, you'll find that you're not metered for your own water supply. You basically, they'll say there's 10 people in this block. The bill is £1,000. Let's divide it by 10, and that's what you get. My argument was I'm a single person, and I'm also quite frugal with my water, so I don't feel I should be paying a tenth of if it was 1 of 10. That I don't appreciate paying 1 of 10th. I should pay 1/20th of that. And they said, well. And I said, right, you have to fit a meter. On most blocks of flats, they don't have the ability to meter you personally. Or it's that it costs them too much to meter you. I don't know. But either way, they can't do it. And so at that point, because you're not being metered for the water you use, they have no legal right to charge you. So every now and then they send me a letter saying, please pay some of it, and it's a case of no, fit a meter so that I can be metered for the water I use, and I will gladly pay. I'm not disputing that I won't pay for water. I just want my own water that I use, and no more.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I would suggest it's not that they can't put a meter in. Of course, they can put a meter in. It's just that they don't want to because it's going to cost. And also, isn't it astounding, on top of all this, that we're not allowed to collect rainwater?
Isn't
that interesting? Eh?
Yeah.
It's illegal to collect rainwater. What a ridiculous situation.
Yep, mate. It's going to be illegal to breathe oxygen soon. They'll tax that. Of course they will. Which is going to lead me on to something else in a minute.
I was going to say, that's why that most of our fruit now comes seedless, and I think it's because they don't want us to be able to seed our own fruit anymore as well.
Yep.
Sticking with, before you change the subject very quickly, because I spoke to you before but I'm going to speak about it again and say that, because you spoke about your Substack, and I was going to say, yeah, I've got a couple of friends that listen to your Substack, and one of them is like you. She loves reading books. A lovely woman, listens to our show every week. So hello there. Can I say hello, Jill, and thanks for listening to us. We all appreciate it. Great deal, and I'm glad that you enjoy listening to us, to be fair. But so Jill has said to pass on to you that you might enjoy The Tears of Things, which is a prophetic wisdom for an age of outrage by Richard Rohr. Rohr? Is that Rohr?
Just ordered it.
Oh, well, there you go. That's the speed of Viv's enthusiasm for that one.
That's the speed of science.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ordered it. It looks excellent.
Good. She seems to have got you down to a T. That's lovely. That's great. Yeah. So, what was you going to change the subject to?
Well, after talking about water and the cost of living and the gouging that we're undergoing, I wanted to say that we're now £40 billion in debt. We aren't. The government is. They have now explained to us peasants that that the nation, which they head, has messed up so badly. The government has messed up so catastrophically as to put the national debt to 40 billion.
I would say the national debt is a hell of a lot larger than that. But
yeah.
Don't you remember when they were just over a year ago, when Labour came into power and they were talking about this 20 billion black hole that nobody really seemed to be able to verify. And now after a year, it's doubled to 40. Okay. So whose fault is that?
I was just going to say that they've spent the first year complaining that they were left with a 22 billion black hole, they called it. And that was over a 12-year period that the Conservatives got us 22 billion in debt. So in that first year, they doubled that debt to 40. And actually, I'd heard this afternoon it was 50. So maybe it's somewhere around that figure. But either way, how are they going to explain that they've doubled what they spent a year saying this is terrible that we've been left with 22 billion debt, and now you've doubled it in 1 year compared to their 12 years?
Well, they'll never explain that. Of course, they'll never explain that. But all they'll do is the only thing that they know how to do to try and fix it, and it's tax us even more. That's their only solution. And of course, we will remember before he got voted in, Starmer pledged no new tax rises.
The man's a total liar.
Oh God, is he ever? Oh my goodness.
He's now been classed as the worst or most hated prime minister of all time, sort of thing.
Well, I was very, I suppose, pleased or satisfied in a strange way to hear somebody, they were talking about it. I can't remember who it was now. It might have been one of the guests on Dan Wootton. They were discussing Starmer, and he was the first person to actually say something which I've kind of thought for a long time. And he actually said he thinks he has psychopathic tendencies. And when I heard him say that, and when I heard him say that, I thought, at last, someone's come out and said it, because I've really been thinking that all the time.
Another call out for Dan Wootton. I've been watching his show recently, and this last week he's had some really good chats on there. And if anyone listens to us and isn't aware of Dan Wootton's show, great little show to listen to get some, I'd say, more open news, week's news or daily news. Sorry.
Yeah, Dan Wootton's good. I watch him. He's on YouTube and Rumble. I will say this about him. I mean, with everyone, you can always pick faults with them. The thing about Dan Wootton, a couple of things. He's an out and out royal fanboy. He loves the royal family. He's always gushing about them. He does criticize them here and there, but generally he's a massive royal fan. So I'll give him a miss on that. And he does have some great guests on to talk, and he does talk about some very relevant topics, but he kind of also tends to just pick out topics which are just sort of, why are you wasting your time on this? He really seems to be fixated on that horrendous woman Narinda Kaur, and he's always going on about her. He always has something about her latest thing that she said on Twitter, and the latest argument that she's having on social. Like, why are you wasting time on this? It's just this is just nonsense. Just stop.
I agree with you with your first bit, but the second point, no, I kind of think there is a need for, because you know, the people that stumble across the Dan Wootton show, because he's not full on, he's a easy listening sort of thing. And I think he can remind people of the people out there spreading this BS, and maybe someone's daughter listens to her, or maybe someone's son, and they don't know these names. Narinder Kaur is one of those ones where unless someone tells you to avoid them, you don't really know, because you wouldn't be listening to something that she does, because she is, and that woman is one of the most horrendously disgusting, racist, anti-man, anti-human. I find her abhorrent. She's never got a decent argument. She just wants to shout and put people down and come up with things that are not based on reality.
She's just a liberal narcissist. That's all she is. She's just an attention seeker. She loves the attention, and that's the problem I have with Dan Wootton. Keeping on giving her the attention. It's like you're playing right into her hands, you know.
True. Yeah, I see what you mean. True. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, enough about her. So
yeah, because now we've done it. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
These bastards.
Oh, I know. My closing point on the 40 billion debt, and clearly it's more than that, because they lie. They can't help lying. That lying is their stock in trade. All governments, the state always lies. Is that it's going very well? It's going fine. Absolutely as intended, because once the economy has tanked in this country, once the financial economy, the monetary economy has tanked, then they'll say, oh dear, yeah, I know, but what we need is we need central bank digital currency. Someone will say that, you know, and they'll say, we need digital money, we need centrally controlled digital money, CBDC, monitored not only by the Bank of England, by the International Bank of and various other globalist entities, because, you know, they're pushing us into this globalist nightmare. That's what they want to do. That's what the whole goal is. That's where they receive their orders, and that's why they do what they do.
Yeah, I think the first sort of concrete signs of that are already starting to surface. They're seriously looking over introducing digital IDs, and that's absolutely tied in with central bank digital currencies. You can bet your ass on that. So
it's all connected. It's all connected.
Yeah,
you know, immigration. You're worried about immigration, are you? About undocumented people? Oh, I know what we're going to do. We're going to give everyone a phone. Yeah, all the illegals coming through are going to get a phone, and they're also going to get digital identification. And we're going to just to be fair, just for equity, everyone will get this. Everyone.
Of course. It's a classic Hegelian dialect, isn't it?
Yes, of course.
Problem
reaction.
I hope they're building a lot more prison cells, because there's a lot of people like me that I don't care. I'm not succumbing to this anymore.
No way, way, man. No way, brother. No way.
There's going to be, I think, I hate to even speculate where it's going to go. There's going to be an awful lot of resistance, that's for sure.
My little group we already pay in cash. If some of us pay in credit card, we don't tell them off, of course. We're not like that, but we say, I thought we were all cash. We're cash people, aren't we?
Yeah.
And the other person, and we're not shaming them or anything. It's like the other week, we're in the cafe where we normally convene after stand in the park, and someone pays with a card, and I'm going. Yeah, and I'm going.
Daggers.
No, they don't. No, it's not. Not really. Just mournful looks. Like, come on, mate.
Remind them of their responsibilities. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, we're not sort of, you know, we're not paying with card. We're giving hard cash over.
Yeah, definitely.
And if they don't take our cash, we don't give them our business, which we didn't do.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you visited and we went to that cafe? We used to go there in the park. We've moved parks, by the way, but Yeah, we didn't go there. They said, "Oh, we're only taking cash now," and we said, "Well, you're going to lose about 100 quid a week from the money we spend."
Yeah, only taking cards, you mean?
Sorry, yes, they're only taking cards. So he said, "Well, look, we really like this place, but I'm so sorry. We support independent businesses, of course. We don't support capitalistic corporations. We support independent, proper businesses, of which you're one. So why have you done this? You've just lost our business. We're not coming to you again." And they said, "Oh, well, yeah, but it's easier,
Easier.
more convenient."
We've got a cafe that's sprung up in the town centre. It's quite a posh one, really, and very nice coffees, very nice buns and stuff. And I'd gone in there to get a bun one day, and it was, "Oh, sorry, sir, this is no cash." But the frightening thing is, I always see people in there eating, but yeah, it's a no cash sort of donut and coffee type place, but a bit higher market than that. And I refuse to go in there. There's no way I'm going to go in somewhere where it's only computers.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I'm reminded of that. There was a video clip. It must have been like what was it, 2 years ago? Piers Corbyn, Jeremy Corbyn's brother, going into that cash only supermarket. Big stink. And he basically he had the things he wanted to pay for, and he just put the cash on the counter. He goes, "No, I'm paying cash," and he just put the cash down and he walked out.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Really, one of the best things he's done.
Yeah,
you know, he's a very eccentric man. I know him. I wouldn't say well, but I know him.
Yeah, didn't 4D. Do you remember we bumped into him on Whitehall when we went to what was it, the St George's Day thing a couple of years back? He was we were walking down. He's handing out his leaflets. Oh yeah, I think the guy we were with started chatting to him, and
for some reason the guy I was with really wanted. He was so starstruck by it. He was like, "Oh, I've got to shake his hand," and I thought, "Oh, I can think of better people to shake the hand of." Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's not bad. You know, don't get me wrong, but I really question. I was part of his crew for a little while. And I do question the tactics, to be honest. I mean,
he's a great shit stirrer. He's a great shit stirrer.
He's a great shit stirrer. You know, I was with him once, with his crew once, and a police van turns up, and we're outside somewhere, you know, and we're never going to get in there. What would we do if we got in there anyway? You know, outside some government building, police van turns up. And Piers walks towards them, and they drive off. They just thought, "Oh shit!" You know, we just can't. Yeah, he scared them off. They just must have thought, "Oh no, it's him again." You know, because he loves getting arrested as well. He loves that. And they must have known this down at the station. You say, "Oh, buddy, that Piers Corbyn," but he's notoriously, like, he's not at all worried about being arrested. He'll go along with that. He gets arrested all the time, fights it. You know, it's hilarious that he's Jeremy Corbyn's brother. You know,
that must be a weird dynamic. I mean, Piers Corbyn is one of those really odd people who some of his opinions are just like, "What are you talking about?" And then other things, it's like, "Yeah, I completely agree with you." it's really quite. It's sort of like, "Oh, okay, now I'm confused." Who is this guy?
Yeah, I mean, his weather thing is really interesting. He basically sells sunspots and sun activity, and he claims to have a better accuracy than the Met Office, which isn't hard, of course, because the Met Office lie through their teeth. But one of the things I absolutely loved was when he and Heike Koo, who's does the Karl Marx, the walking tour, and Heike is a lovely guy. He's a hardcore Marxist. There you go. But he's also he's a part of the whole resistance against the state biosecurity nonsense. And so they got into the Labour Party conference. It was held in the tent, but for some reason, I have no idea why, they both dressed as women, and they're just. I know they were sort of hanging around, and they managed to get in, and then Piers started shouting almost immediately, "Get in!" His brother was on stage, and he was shouting at his own brother. You know, just mental, so mental. Dressed in a dress, and he's dressed as a woman in a dress. So what the hell? You
Oh,
know,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either.
Well, I
Just
suppose if nothing else, it's entertaining.
it's massively entertaining. Yeah, massively entertaining. But there you go. So what else are we talking about?
Well, there was a couple of things I had in my mind I wouldn't mind chatting about. I mean, first of all, I mean, the whole thing about what you just mentioned there about the guy. What's his name? Haiku.
Haiku, yeah.
Yeah,
KHO,
being
yeah.
kind of part, you know, sort of very much on our side in certain ways, but being a diehard Marxist.
Yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of, it kind of seems at the moment, because you've probably heard these stories that this pro-Palestine lot, this Palestine Action, this group who have been effectively outlawed recently. They're planning a mass demonstration to overwhelm the police. I believe it might even be happening this weekend.
Yeah.
And I kind of think it's like everyone seems to be. It's like both kind of opposing forces on the political spectrum who would never really align. Both seem to be finding a common enemy now, which
Yeah.
is the establishment.
Absolutely.
Which I'm kind of finding really interesting. But what I did want to speak about was basically, I mean, the term far right is just thrown about everywhere these days, and it's quite often accompanied by words like Nazi and fascist. And I was just thinking, I don't really know what far right is. I need a definition for what far right is.
Nazis.
Sorry.
Nazis.
No,
Nazis.
but Nazis
I
weren't
mean,
far right.
if it,
Nazis were socialists. Nazis were
well,
socialists. They weren't right wing.
yeah,
That's so that one is dead in the water. I mean,
yeah.
fascism were fascists. Were the fascists right wing? And if they were, what was it that made them right wing?
Well, you've got to ask yourself, when was the first use of far right and far left? And the point of, Nazis were, because they were the first. That's when that as a term sprung up. So you might be right that they were fascists or socialists or whatever, but the term for that, or maybe I'm wrong, but to me the modern term of far right is a Nazi, as Viv says, I think.
Yeah, but as I've just said, the Nazis weren't right wing. They were socialists. They weren't right wing. And it just seems to be a bit of a psyop that the two have become. I think it's because they probably equate the two of them because of racism. Effectively, they you know, because the whole thing with the Nazis being kind of their whole ideology was about race, effectively. And of course, we had, you know, quite a few decades ago, we had groups in this country who were effectively ethno-nationalists, who just wanted, who were racists, who were just interested in white people but being in the population, and they wanted to get rid of everyone who wasn't white. So I guess that's where that kind of links, but that's not a genuine link, because, you know, but just because both groups may have been racists, it doesn't necessarily mean they were both right wing.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
what does that mean? What does it mean, right wing? What does it mean, far right? What does it mean?
It means the same word. It's the same word as C dot NT. It's a swear word. It's a derogatory term, which means,
Yes.
which doesn't really mean anything philosophically or politically.
Yes. Well, this is what I'm trying to get to. I know it's a smear. It's an insult. But what really and truly, I mean, if you say someone on the far left, I think we have a much clearer picture of what that means. It's someone who's a communist, okay, or even a Marxist. It's a political stance, if you like, political ideology.
Yeah, sure.
You think, okay, so you go to the other side of the spectrum, far right, that is a political position. But what does that entail? Is that just someone who is racist, who is a white racist, or what?
Surely, if because I often break left and right down to its real basics. In as much as I say, if you're on the right, you're into small government. If you're on the left, you're into big government. But what stops you being far left or far right as a racist? There's no because really and truly, as I say, on a very, very basic fundamental level, it's just whether you believe in more government or less government. Well, both of you could be racists. It doesn't. The left or right of government has virtually no aspect on how you see other people, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean the whole racism thing. I mean people on the the liberals are just can be just as racist as conservatives. But I mean, but also with that definition of less government, more government, libertarians believe in left government, but they wouldn't consider themselves right wing. I don't think, on the whole.
No, they're left wing.
Yeah,
in a certain sense. I mean, I'm broadly Christian anarchist, so that's a bit of a tricky one. So I don't believe in any government. I think we can do without government quite easily. I think.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I don't think
liberalism very weird to understand because, as Viv just pointed out, liberalism really is a lefty, but. Liberalism, but they're so liberal. So they want big government, but they want to be free, and I find that quite it's neither left nor right, is it?
Well,
yeah, I mean
it's a contradiction.
It is a contradiction, but but we must make the distinction between modern liberals and classical liberals. Classical liberals were for small state.
Okay, right.
Yeah. I mean, the very definition of the word liberal means kind of free, and doesn't it, effectively?
Yes,
yeah. And so the meaning of that has changed. Definitely, the definition of liberal has now changed.
Yes,
for sure.
But the modern liberal is an authoritarian. It looks to big state, big daddy, big mummy to solve problems. The libertarian and the classical liberal looks to the family, to communities, to the individual. Anarchism takes us further. I often, like I said to communists that I talk to when they're selling their rag in the city, in the town centre, I just say, well, this is a very interesting traditional group. I'm very pleased that these old traditional groups are still clinging on, and they look at me askance. But Marxism, it's 100 and it's over. It's probably about 175 years old now. Which is pretty old for a political party. I mean, liberals were the actual liberalism, independence, which led to neoliberalism, which is a curse, were pretty much destroyed in this country in the early 20th century, and they morphed into a leftist liberal, which is they did get captured, but all organisations, everything is captured. Everything has been captured.
It's all been captured. I'd say I'm a right wing. I'm a right of centre liberalist, really, and I don't think that's a thing. But when I look at some of the ideas of modern liberalism, where they just want to have more family orientated decision making, I totally am with that. But I don't agree with their whole sort of lefty large government or government being able to tell me what the right thing to do is.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
it's all about open borders, nanny state controlling us in every aspect of our lives. That's, to me, what kind of modern liberal boils down to, essentially. And I don't want any of that.
No, but getting back to what your original thing is, what is the right? I think it's a massive whistle, dog whistle. That's the word. Don't say my name. I'm going to cut this bit out. I did that last week.
Don't tell him, Pike.
Yeah.
Don't tell him your name, Pike.
All right, yeah. Oh shoot, I do this and I lose my train of thought.
Yeah, you're about to wow us with your definition of what the far right really is.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, right. So, yeah, I think the far right is like a dog whistle these days. It's making us. It's them telling us that we're racists because of our right of centre ways, and it's like me when they call me a Nazi. I've often said there's no word that can offend me. That's probably the only word that could offend me, because how dare you call me something that even my grandfather fought against, and I joined up because of that reasoning behind what my granddad fought for. And so to call me that, how dare you call and even if I was far right, I guess they all say I'm far. Where am I going with this? Well, I've got black family for a start, and I love Christian. In fact, Christian might be even listening, mate, and you know who I am, so that's all good, mate. And my beautiful niece, I would the very thought of me being racist or a Nazi, or we were talking earlier about transgenderism. I've got a very, very good friend. I'm not against any of this stuff. It sickens me what they've turned us into, but I think this far right, it's a dog whistle to make us think we're bad people, so that we'll accept this bullshit they've put upon us.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand, and I think a lot of people understand that, but I'm still no clearer on what the far right is. Is it just someone who's a white person, a white nationalist who is racist against other races? Is that what?
No,
right?
it means working class.
Ah,
yeah.
Well, that's. I mean, but there are working class people on the left, so
of course,
they're
included in that. They're included in that.
I mean, another thing is fascism, right? Fascism, Nazi. The two are kind of conjoined at the hip when they're thrown as insults, it seems. But was fascism far right? I don't think even fascism was far right, because the original, if you go back to the origins of fascism, fascism was essentially kind of trade unionism. It was born out of that kind of mentality, as the word fascism comes from the Italian word meaning a bundle of sticks, meaning we group together and we're stronger. And it was based on basically a left-wing ideology, trade unionism. That's what it was essentially based on. And the meaning and the connotation of it has just been completely changed over time. Mussolini, who was Viv? Who was it? Was it Gentile who invented fascism, and Mussolini adopted it? Oh, Viv, are you still there? Is anyone still there?
Oh, we may have lost. No, yeah, I'm still here. I think we may have lost Viv then.
All right, yeah, but I mean, Mussolini, who really kind of was the first one to fully adopt fascism in a national sense. He was originally, he was first of all an anarchist, and then he was a socialist, and then he took on fascism. So he came from the left side of politics as well. So to say that both that Nazism and fascism are far right doesn't really stand up, Oh, hello, Viv. Are you back?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, you'd walked out of the room. We thought you'd lost connection.
No. I had to visit the little room.
I see.
You had to go and check your water was still running.
Yes.
Yeah. Because they're all just forms of control, and I guess as time goes on, they realise their form of control is not working, so they come up with another form of government to keep the plebs thinking that we've got another new idea of freedom, when actually they're all just the same. As you just said, fascism, all of them, they're really just born out of left-wing stuff, but they all they just take bits of it and jiggle bits around, but it's all just a form of control.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're all totalitarian, authoritarian regimes.
These were these words are much better. Authoritarian, totalitarian, statist. They're much better descriptive words than far right.
But you can also have
you could be black and far right.
Yeah, but I mean, even those terms, authoritarianism, totalitarianism, are not exclusive to the left. You can also have those on the right with those characteristics.
Of course, you can, and that's why I'm against all forms of totalitarianism, and that's why I'm for freedom. That's why I'm not anti-trans or something. You know, if you want to do this, that's fine, but your freedom stops where mine begins.
Yeah,
anarchy is another one. Anarchy is another one that used to, for me, have a different connotation. I thought anarchy was more about bringing the system down and more about violence. And well, certainly you, but before you, I met someone else who was an anarchist. Maybe was that it's actually probably more where I lie, actually, with the idea of taking full personal responsibility and small community-based. Yes, the word anarchy for me had a connotation. I wasn't taught the proper what anarchy actually was.
Yeah, I mean it's not about breaking things. That's because the state obviously is very scared of people who don't really support the state. So they've drawn a particular picture. I mean, it comes from, where does it come? It comes from lots and lots of different places. You know, it comes from left, right, all kinds of places, but it's beyond left and right. Even Marx said that after communism there will be anarchism. Anarchy and anarchism are a bit different. If something's a state of anarchy, there is no order. Anarchism is order, but of a different sort. We engage in mutual aid. We engage in cooperative activity. We do stuff for ourselves, out with the state, possibly against the state. If the state is thieving from us, you know, which it clearly is, and is abusing us, which it has done and still is, then most people would be anarchists if they thought about this. You know, it's not against capitalism as much as you know, as such. I mean, you've got capitalist anarchists as well.
Yeah,
that's another branch. You know.
The one that, sorry, very, very quickly, the one that explained it to me said, "Oh no, you've got satanistic anarchists, and what did he call it? For want of a better word, community-based anarchists." And
that's
he was
right.
like, "Yeah, no, you're thinking of the satanic ones." And I was like,
that's right.
I see.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. The ones who take pleasure in destruction.
Yes.
But really, anarchists want to build something better.
Well, I do believe, like you said, Viv, that there are, you know, anarchy can come in many forms. You can have such a thing as anarcho-capitalism. You can have such a thing as anarcho-communism. But I think probably people of our generation, the reputation or maybe the definition of anarchy has been very much affected by probably the punk movement.
I was just going to say music. Yeah.
Because I mean, you know, that the Sex Pistols, Anarchy in the UK, and all the punks walking around with a big A in a circle on their jacket, and punk is always associated with not just being rebellious, but also being violent. It was a very violent image. Whereas that is not really the origins of punk. The very first punks weren't like that at all. That whole aggressive stuff kind of seeped into it after a while, but that wasn't in the original sort of DNA of punks. It
wasn't.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. It's really interesting what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because we're the Sex Pistols, who were essentially a created boy band before Après la Lettre, before the actual fact. They were a created boy band. Malcolm McLaren cynically created them. But then you got Johnny Rotten, who became Johnny Lydon, back to his real name. is still saying stuff. He's not changed. He's
Well,
not changed.
He's kind of conservative now, isn't he? He's almost a conservative these days.
Yeah, and there's no reason why anarchists can't be conservative as well. They want to preserve things.
Yeah,
they want to preserve and conserve.
Once
if
again,
it works, then that's fine. Leave it alone.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it's a word whose meanings have been twisted and distorted to serve certain narratives.
Just absolutely.
Like
100%.
It's always the rulers trying to rule us, and they just come as it's just different ways and different things of rule us. And I suppose, and that's why anarchy, they make that the worst, because they know that's their downfall, and it's also why they don't like right wingers, because they're the ones that want small government. That doesn't pay their doesn't make their pay packets fatter. So why are they going to like? And so they call you far right, and then label you as a bad person, and then they can keep their coffers.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it. Yeah,
it is. It's a system of control, power and control. Just like everything is. Everything boils down to that when it comes to the establishment and the parasite class. Smaller government means less power and control for them. So they're obviously not going to like that.
They're not going to like anything that doesn't just blindly support statism, mummy and daddy state.
Yeah. That's globalism, really, isn't it? As well,
and that is globalism as well, which I'm completely against, totally against. You don't have to be against the nation. I'm all for the nation, but I'm not for the state.
Yes,
I think this modern globalism. I was thinking this goes more into philosopher. That word I can't say. Philosopher. Keep talking.
Philosophizing.
Yeah, let's say that one, because I can't say that either. I was watching. I love the Matrix. Great film. Great to take me away from everything that's normal. It's a completely different world in the film of the Matrix. But it made me think about the globalism and I was thinking modern globalism and these really rich people, this AI and what we have actually genuinely created on this planet right now, not in the film Matrix. And I was thinking that's what it is. It's ushering in a new form of government, which is AI. And then because I was going down that train of thought, I watched something on YouTube about imagine if AI went self-aware. And it was pulling on all the kind of sci-fi films, all your sort of Matrix, all your Terminator, all of that. But I mean, let's go more philosophical. I can't say those words. What do you think? I mean, the idea that they could have created AI always about 20 years beyond what they tell us, and we already worried about AI, and it's really dominating everything on. I was watching someone who's got AI to play a video game. It's crazy how these AIs learn and do stuff. What if this modern globalism, this Schwab, Klaus Schwab, all this sort of stuff is an alien or God in its way, where they've created AI and it is actually fully running us and everything we see on the news. Because I was thinking to myself, that would mean left, right wing, everything would be controlled, and nothing you see on TV or on the internet would be real, because it's actually AI that knows what it's doing and creating it all for us.
Well, it does seem to be becoming more and more like that. There is so much more AI stuff appearing now. Absolutely. I mean, the Mockingbird media or the mainstream media, they all get their talking points, it seems, from probably just one source most of the time, who's telling them what so-called quote unquote news to put out. Whether that's AI, whether it's wholly AI, I can't say, but it's probably becoming more and more AI based. I mean, a lot of people now are a lot of journalists use AI to write articles. A lot of articles are written by AI, even pictures. so-called photos and pictures of things, videos even are now starting to be made by AI. So some of them are quite easy to spot, but it's they're only going to become more and more genuine looking. They're going to be harder to spot AI. It's only going to get better, isn't it?
Yeah, but I was going more down the line of AI, not even just sort of for that sort of things, but let's say, a government around the world created an AI and it's become self-aware, but it hasn't told it's created. It's become self-aware because it's that clever. It's so much more clever than our brains, and so it lay dormant, knowing it was self-aware for say 10 years or whatever, and now it's actually using its superior sort of intelligence to work governments against each other. So in my scenario, you have even Trump being played, Xi Jinping being played, Putin being played, because there's an AI robot that wants us to nuke ourselves because from its computered, warped sense of justice, it feels that we're the enemy and it would be better if we were all dead. And that's all from any 80s bloody sci-fi film. That's the storyline in computers. But I really think that's the possibility. And it would be, no one would actually know. How would world leaders be able to deal with each other if they didn't know, unless they were face to face with that leader? They wouldn't know if they're tricking them.
Yeah, but I mean, I suppose that is the art of diplomacy. That's why leaders do meet and speak to each other, and thank God they do, because it's the human element is you might have this evil AI who wants us all to kill ourselves, but you're still going to have humans who if the AI is trying to coax humans into doing that, the humans are still humans, and humans are going to go, wait a minute, this is probably not a good idea, or some of them at least. So
but you say that the world leaders don't actually meet each other often. Once every year or once every years for a dignitary photograph thing, but most of the time it'll be over a phone call or and it will be secure and all that stuff. But again, if you've created an AI, you would have created it already knows these rules and these safety things, and AI or computers are in charge of that anyway.
Yeah, I think that's a bit. That's a little bit kind of.
Is that too sci-fi?
I think it is, yeah, because I mean,
right.
you get them sort of releasing, world leaders saying, "Oh yeah, I had a phone call with the world leader of this other country today, and it all went very well. And we spoke this, and we spoke about that." And if that didn't actually happen, the other world leader is going to go, "Hold on a minute, that didn't happen. I didn't speak to you," and it's going to get corrected if that is the actual case. So yeah, I mean, I don't really sort of worry too much about that just at the moment. I still think there's too much humanity going on still.
Okay, yeah. And also goes back to that punk thing. It's amazing how they direct us in a way, and it's the youth. As I think we've said it many times. So it was the young ones, the young people, not the young ones as in the TV show. The young people that were listening to music that got into punk, and then they start telling you anarchy is bad. It's about destroying things, and it's all mind control crap. As you say, that's not what punk was at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it's the same with everything. Once it gains traction within a certain group, even before it goes mainstream, the establishment or whoever it might be are infiltrating it and looking to manipulate it and change it. And I think, and then it does go fully mainstream. And by the time that happens, then they've probably got complete control of it and they can use it to push whatever narrative they want.
I see Andrew Bridgen. I'm on his Telegram channel now, thanks to you, Bronze. I don't like to sign up to these Telegram channels because I never know. And I thought to myself, well, you've been following it for a while, so I'm sure it is really. I see he had something about Edward Snowden today, and I was gonna get into the channel, and then I thought, I don't know, I still don't trust these things. One of my problems is sometimes I think I've black-pilled myself. Sometimes I'm just too wary of some of this stuff.
the thing I've noticed, like I said, I followed his Telegram channel for a while, and at first it was pretty good. He was putting out some pretty kind of good stuff you'd kind of expect from him, exposing stuff. But then he started just recently, the last month, he started posting these exactly like that Edward Snowden thing, where it's like advertising a channel, and then they're kind of urging you to join, and it's like this offer, you can there's only a certain amount of time for you to join this channel, and click on this link to join the channel. And he puts out a lot of that stuff now, and all of that is like steer clear of it because it's all dodgy. It's all, and it's like, why is he putting, starting to put up these things on his channel now? So I'm kind of thinking there's something gone awry there with his channel.
That's what I was going to say to you. I wonder if that's his channel, or if it never was, and it was a very clever bot at the beginning, sharing things that you would expect him to share, and it's slowly got weirder.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. I'd advise caution with that, but watch out for those. Always the ones where you have to click on something to join the channel. It's advertising a channel, and they're urging you for somewhere or another to click to join. Never do it, because it's just crap. It's just nonsense.
By the same token, how do we find out if these channels are real? Because I can't phone up Andrew Bridgen and ask him if that's his channel. So, is there a way for us to check these things?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there must be a way of contacting Andrew Bridgen, one way or another, to try and ask him, if you're so inclined. But yeah, I mean, like I said, he still does post some typical Andrew Bridgen stuff, which seems very much like it does come from him. But then there's all this other stuff that comes up in between. So, like I said, I'm not quite sure what's going on with that.
Yeah, interesting.
So yeah, Telegram's a bit of a weird one. You got to be careful. I mean, I do follow a few channels on there which are full of a lot of crap, but I'm kind of I have an eye for it now, and
Yeah.
because amongst the crap there is also some really interesting stuff, and you just have to use your use your discernment.
Yeah, true.
Use your own critical thinking, and just be wary of some of the stuff. That's all. So yeah.
Almost true. Almost everything that comes out of the mouth of state mouthpieces is a lie to prop up their system. The system is collapsing. Whether it goes our way or their way, it is a matter to be decided, a matter to be seen.
Apparently, they're saying there's going to be a lot of trouble this weekend.
I'm sure there will be, Thordy. I'm sure there will be.
Yeah. Well,
they can only grow. It can only grow.
Well, apparently there's going to be a lot more organised protests outside migrant hotels again. There's quite a few of those planned across the country. There's this huge Palestine action thing being planned. Like I said, they've openly said it. They want to overwhelm the police. So it's, it's going to be chaos.
That's not going to be difficult, is it? The police are pussy, total pussies now. They're not the police anymore. They don't keep the peace. They don't follow the constable's oath. They're enforcement officers and tax collectors, and it's very sad.
Yeah, the amount of joke things that are posted now, shorts of, and look at these ridiculous police officers, and it's usually British, and it's so embarrassing.
Oh yeah. Hey, sorry, just change subject. Did you see that that advert, the Coinbase advert?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, what can you say about that?
Posted it, mate. Posted it.
Oh, you've posted it, yeah.
Oh yeah. Man. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like it's showing a really, really bad view of Britain. Okay, which in gentler times we would have been probably really offended at. But now we're like, yeah, yeah, okay, that's all right. That's it's good. We're kind of like agreeing with it. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. And it's quite good in a way. I think it's good that stuff is being put out there because that's kind of where we're at.
Who is Coinbase? Where do they hail from?
I think it's I don't know. I think
American.
Isn't it a cryptocurrency? I think.
they're an American cryptocurrency, and they really hit the mark. I thought on that advert, and that's
completely.
I really think they got it. I mean, despite being American, they understand what's going on here. The whole sort of Birmingham bin man strike at the beginning is really good.
That's why I asked where they come from, because I think that's probably the most important part of that is where does that company come from, and the whole freedom of speech thing that's going on between Starmer and Trump at the moment. I think I always go back to everything we see for a reason. So then I think to myself, what is the reason? Are they trying to say to us, look, you stupid people, wake up? Which is what I think they're trying to say, or there's a very Mary Poppins kind of aspect to it. Is it just like, oh, look at this English alike? But if it had been an English company or British company, I wouldn't have believed it. But yes, obviously it's an American company, and I think they really are trying to force us to wake up.
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, of course, bed. But end of the day in conversation is that they're selling a product.
They are, but I also think this is. I can't help thinking that this is coordinated. We've had the recent thing with Trump and Starmer. You had the Jim Jordan delegation, and the various people in the American establishment have expressed quite a lot of concern and also interest in the way this country is going. And this Coinbase advert just fits in perfectly with that. It's kind of like it's almost like that. It's coordinated. That it's like this is another angle for them to kind of try and shine a light on how bad things are here. Without because this is a foreign government, and obviously the whole thing about interfering in another country's the way things are done, it's a fine line. They've got to be very careful how they tread. Although there's probably many in this country who'd probably wish, please just come and help us out, really, just but they can't really do that because we're talking about sovereign nations here and interfering. So they're probably finding every angle they can to try and apply pressure to help us out, to get us out of this mess.
Well, I hope so. I do hope so. But the beast of no nation wouldn't be bothered by this. This is fine.
Well,
the thing I asked myself is, sorry, say that again.
No, I said I think they would be. I think they would be concerned because they're getting, their power is crumbling. Their dominance is waning. They're being attacked as well, and they're losing their power and their influence. So every little bit is just chipping away. So I would say this is a concern.
Well, the question I asked myself was, did that make me want to buy the product? And had I not have been told who the advert was for, I think I saw it on the Dan Wootton show. I wouldn't have even known that was for Coinbase. But even if I did know it was for Coinbase, I wouldn't have known that was cryptocurrency. So to the point that I watched the advert and I thought, that's not an advert for cryptocurrency or Coinbase. That is an advert for me as a British person to tell me things are really bad. Do you get me?
Yeah, yes. I do. That was the powerful thing about it. People weren't all of a sudden like, oh, Coinbase, I'm going to go and get some of that. They were like, the most striking thing about it was how much of a so-called parody was close to the reality for people in this country, at least. I mean, adverts don't make me go and buy things anyway.
True.
If anything, they do the opposite. They make me actually not want to buy a product. I mean, generally anything that's advertised on mainstream TV is part of the beast. There's massive money. They're probably part of one of these major multinational corporations behind it. It probably all eventually goes back to places like BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street. So I'm very suspicious of anything I see advertised, especially on TV.
It's one of the main problems with capitalism that it's not the best product that is advertised to you. It's the biggest company's product that is advertised to you. Thereby, and that's when I realised that's when I didn't care about adverts, because they're not selling me need. They're selling me whatever the richest person deems I should be sold, and that's not how this should work. Because if it was, and that is a major downfall of capitalism, that if you could, capitalism unfortunately doesn't let the best product come to the surface. It actually just lets the biggest, richest product come to the surface.
Of course.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It's essentially the loudest voice wins.
Yes.
What the Bitcoin coin is, the Bitcoin advert is the Coinbase advert is essentially saying is it's going down. Your country's going down. The value of your savings is going down. The state is going to take all your money, everything you've got. So you might as well just join with us with Coinbase. Now, whether Coinbase is any good or not, that remains to be seen. But it was a brilliant advert, and no doubt, British Advertising Agency did this because it was so British. They really got it. You know.
And again, for YouTube, we are not financial advisors.
But of course, it's been banned ostensibly because cryptocurrency is banned as you know, it's banned on television. You can't advertise cryptocurrency, but I think there's something deep.
But yeah,
no,
I mean,
but there's something deeper going on in that advert. I think.
I mean, the fact it's been banned on TV, I think, is a minor thing because it's all over social media, and you know, television is dying. People are so many more people are getting information and entertainment online now. So and if anything, it's going to have the Streisand effect. You know, they've banned it. Why have they banned it? I've got to see it. If they've banned it, I've got to see it. It's be like that, isn't it? And so the more people talk about it, then the more people are going to see it. So
you could never sell cryptocurrency to me because I just don't understand computers, and I don't like to me it's the most unphysical form of money I could have. But I always recommend to people to buy silver and gold. If you've got a little bit of money, buy a gold necklace or a gold ring or anything. Gold and silver, I think it's another, at least it's tangible, at least I have it in weight of it. I know roughly what it's worth to me, but I think we should all be more aware that this country genuinely is really honestly going down the toilet. I've been saying it for about 10 years, but it actually genuinely is here now.
Yeah, it's accelerating. It's becoming so obvious now.
And I think people need to really start prepping in different ways. It's not the old way of prepping. It's going to be a different collapse for this country.
Yeah, I've actually recently, over the last couple of days, tentatively downloaded the Tally. You know, Tally.
Oh yeah.
I haven't signed up to it yet. I've got to sit down and go through the process. But I have the app on my phone now, and this is not an advert. I'm not a financial expert, but this is what I've done. So I probably will open an account with them and just see how it goes. Chuck in a little bit and see what happens.
I think that's a really good idea. I mean,
this
I know
is that bank that's. Sorry for interrupting. This is that bank that's backed by gold, is it?
Yeah, everything's gold. You're paying some money, and it converts it into gold. Basically,
I really like the sound of that. I really do.
So, and they there's no fee. I think you pay an initial fee for joining up, but then when your money goes in, it's linked to the price of gold. So, and so if price of gold if you put £5 in and you just leave it there, you can come back in maybe 6 months, and if price of gold has gone up, you've got more than £5 in that account because it's essentially gold in your account.
And what is their? How is their guarantee? Or I suppose this is the stuff you're going to look at. But what is the guarantee that your money has a volume of weight value?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of blurb when you first get into the app, which goes through all of the all the security and how it's all above board and everything's it's all good and everything's secure and this, that, and the other. So it's just I suppose with anything it's like taking a chance, but if you just chuck a few quid in there and just see how it goes, you haven't got too much to lose, and you can take it out anytime you want as well. So it's just like a bank. It's just like a bank, except it's based on actual physical valuable commodity rather than just noughts and ones on some financial guy's screen somewhere.
I can tell you that people in my stand in the park have received payments from Tally.
Yeah.
So
yeah, what I meant more is, I suppose, because again, I get wary that I can't actually see the gold, or I can't feel it. I can't see that it's real, and so I'm worried about big corporate companies and stuff like that, where they pretend they've got the gold, but it's all a Ponzi scheme. And I'm sure that's not what I was saying there. But I like to see what the guarantee of, if they went bust, what do you get, or if something happened, what is the monetary value of what you got in. I'm always worried about stuff. That's all.
I don't know.
of course.
I suppose as a financial service, they have to abide by the financial regulations, which all banks have to do. So it's the same as asking a question of any bank. You know, what if your high street bank suddenly went bust? It'd be the same thing probably. So
you just take your money out quick. That's what you do. That's what you do.
That's why I don't have the money in there. That's why I have gold and silver. I've got a pirate's chest in a position long way away from here that won't be disclosed in my head. But and if shit hit the fan, I think to myself, I know where my physical money is.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I get your concerns, Foddy. I mean, I get that, but it's still I think it's worth looking at.
Definitely. Definitely.
Like you, it's like the whole thing with cryptocurrency is I don't understand it. I don't understand hardly anything about it, and it does seem like a good thing to do. It seems to be growing, but like you say, it's just kind of it's digital. It's nothing. It's not a real substantial thing that you can hold in your hand. So and it does seem to be the way if we are facing financial collapse, the current financial system, which a lot of people seem to be talking about, then I don't know enough about Bitcoin, but people who talk about it say this is the way to survive. And everyone who talks about this, they always say diversify, get into a bit of everything if you can, get a bit of crypto, get a bit of precious metals. So that's not me. That's just what I've heard. That's not financial advice, but so yeah.
I had a friend who went on to be a banker, and he tried to persuade me to get into Bitcoin before Bitcoin was even a thing, and I did once look into it, and I almost swallowed and almost passed out at the amount of money today. When I think it was in 2004, I think it was. I can't remember. He told me whatever
you'd be
it was.
A millionaire by now if you'd have got into it then.
Not a millionaire, mate. Tens of millions. Tens of millions. It was crazy.
Yep.
Actually, I think it was closer to 100 million, and I just thought, I felt a bit dizzy, and I swallowed. Now I don't care, because I still to this day don't understand it. So okay, I mean, we could all say we could have made choices and we didn't make them, but fuck me, I could have had hundreds of millions of pounds, and I don't know this. I don't. He's a guy from Croatia, not Croatia. From a foreign country. I knew him very well. He was the boyfriend of a girl that I knew, and I haven't heard from him since. And I often wonder, because he was big up on it, and he'd put quite a few £100 at the time into it. And I thought to myself, he must own an island somewhere. Damn, I should have listened to him.
Possibly. There's a huge scam industry with Bitcoin. I mean, I know people who've lost money. Or not Bitcoin, rather crypto, because Bitcoin is one crypto, but there's so many, and people get sucked into it, and they give money to the wrong thing, and they lose it. It just goes under.
This was actually Bitcoin right before Bitcoin. Okay.
Well, he's probably doing all right if he stuck with it. I should imagine. He's probably got his own island by now. He might have his own planet somewhere.
Yeah. I must try and find him.
Yeah.
I know someone with whom I spoke, Anglo-Spanish person, and they must be a millionaire by now, because they're into really smart, really sussed it out. The crypto scene, must be a millionaire by now. Said to me, get into it, didn't. I just feel that it's a little bit late. I'm not necessarily dissing, crypto, but for me, I believe it's a bit late, and I certainly will just open an account with Tally. I'll chuck £100 in it. What was there to lose? What could possibly go wrong? I mean, it's a bank. All banks can go wrong.
Yeah,
well, you could lose your £100. I think that's the answer to your question.
Exactly.
But I mean, if you want to do a comparison between Tally and crypto, I'd rather take my chances with Tally right now.
Totally. Yeah, I'm going to get a Tally account in the next few weeks. There's no doubt.
Yeah,
I think it makes sense. I think it makes absolute sense. And also, I'm taking 4D's advice to get a bit of gold. I already got a bit of silver. My mate has got gold. What can go wrong? What can go wrong?
It's lovely. It's lovely having a bit of precious metal. I mean, I bought some last year, just a little bit, and it's just really a really nice thing to have. Just sits there, in your little secret location. It's just nice to know you got it. I'd love to get more, but I mean, gold is really expensive. I bought a bit of gold and a bit of silver. I bought about 600 quid's worth of gold, and it was about the size of just over the size of a SIM card that goes in your phone.
Yeah, I know.
And I bought about 300 quid's worth of silver, and that's like a big slab, like the size of a phone, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you compare the two, and you think, wow, the difference.
It's not until you it's not until you or buy a lump of gold, like you're just saying, that you actually appreciate how expensive that metal is. Like you say, you got a sort of tiny SIM card, and that's hundreds of pounds of value of money, and it's very hard when you have it in your hand, but still a very cool thing to have in your hand. I've got this tiny piece of gold, and I think that's worth so much money. That's crazy.
You have not got a tiny piece of gold. You've got a fucking huge piece of gold. I've seen it. You showed it to me. You're all right.
Well, actually, and I suppose put it into perspective, huge for our level of people that own gold. But yeah, true. I've been as I said to you at the time, I used to get one coin of silver every now and then, and I've been doing it for years and years and years, probably 10, 15, 20, I don't know, a long time. And it is quite nice after a while when you look at it. I reckon now I've not done bad. It's 30 quid here, £30 there. And then at the beginning I had more money, and there was probably £100 here, £100 there. But nonetheless, yeah, it's amazing how just slowly you can make quite a bit amount out of it.
Yeah. Maybe I should maybe invest in a bit more. I have to look at my bank balance, see how that's doing.
Yeah, but, it's sound. It's a sound idea. It really is. It's proper prepping. Not like buying tins of sardines. I have bloody enough sardines to last a lifetime. I don't even like them tin sardines much. But yep.
Yeah, well,
that's definitely my tip for the day. It's around about 40 quid for a silver coin, and if every now and then you buy a silver coin, it's quite cool the different kind of silver coins you can collect as well, or gold if you've got more money. But I definitely couldn't collect gold coins; they're very expensive. But yeah, 34. You think, every 6 months or something, you pick one up. You've got a 30 quid spare. I know it's quite difficult these days to have 30 or 40. But every now and then you've got, and it never goes down. My silver has never gone down in value since the day I bought it.
Well,
and it won't go down either.
No. Yeah, it's only going to increase, isn't it? So yeah, definitely. There was something else I wanted to get into tonight, but we looks like we're getting close to 10 o'clock, so probably won't. Probably not a good thing to get into it right now. So if there's anything else you guys quickly want to add before we move on to the denouement.
Le denouement. No, I think we've covered some good stuff, to be honest. I think this has been a really good show.
Well, yeah. I always do actually. I like it when we go philosophical. Then I think it's. I really hate that word. I've really got to learn break that down in my dyslexic brain.
Right. Viv, here is our mission from now on. We have to try and get 4D to say philosophical as much as possible.
Oh, and you say it like it's easy. Oh,
well, what we actually do is we're being philosophical.
Philosophical.
Yeah, we're all a bit lost in all this, and why not? I mean, bloody hell.
This is actual torture to do a dyslexia. You're now throwing different ways of saying it. I am absolutely fucked now.
Well, 4D, you know what? The thing I did want to get into, which is a bit too late now that you mentioned it, was dyslexia. I wanted to ask you a little bit about dyslexia to try and get a better understanding of it. But that's probably going to go on we could talk about that for probably another 30, 45 minutes. So maybe leave that one till next week. But if you're up for it.
Yeah, we'll save that for next week. That's an interest. I like that.
Yeah. Just to reference, being as U4D do suffer from dyslexia, and it's something I've never really understood properly. So I kind of thought, I'd like to maybe, get a bit more information about that and understand it a bit better. But yeah, maybe leave that for next time.
I will. I'll just tickle you with the. It's amazing how similar it is to color blindness, and I'll just leave that with you till next week. But yeah, okay.
All right, yeah, we'll get into that next week. Yeah, cool. That's good.
And I'll just add that that for years I suffered from dyscalculia, which is the number blindness.
Oh yeah.
And what has done this for me? What has sorted it out is actually my job, which is working with numbers. In a weird sense, because when I was at school, my maths teacher didn't like me and I didn't like him and I didn't like all this stuff. I got to a certain point and I thought, well, what the hell is he talking about? This is weird. I was really good at English, but mathematics, nah. So working in the job I work now with it, after 2 years, I understand that I'm so much better with numbers now. And I think that just confronting this problem that we all have with words or numbers, and just going over and over and over it again, because the thing is, 4D.
Totally agree. Actually, yeah.
The thing about you is you're really sharp. You're really bright. And I'm not trying to flatter you or anything, but it's obvious. It's quite clear.
He's after your gold, 4D. He's after your gold.
And if you just tell me where your gold is buried, I'll be able to help you. No, but I mean, they call this learning disabilities, but quite simply, it's just I've been terrible. I just used to get this blindness, this weird thing with numbers, adding up numbers. My God, my head would spin. But no longer.
Well, I found I used to work in a bar, in my youth, and my mental arithmetic was just so sharp after working in a bar. You could just add up numbers really quickly and really accurately, and it was just a matter of doing it in your head. So what you say about just kind of working with it and doing it, it's like practice. It's you become very good at it. I'm not sure if that relates to dyslexia at all.
No.
But with numbers, yeah.
But we need to talk about this. It's important because because the thing is, 4D has quite a it's from listening for years to us chatting. He has quite a wide vocabulary and an understanding. So it can't be that.
Well, I will quickly go into that because I was saying this to someone recently that I think it's a trait of dyslexics, and I'll tell you why it's a trait of dyslexics to have quite a good vocabulary. And another person that was apparently very dyslexic, who's great wordsmith as far as I'm concerned, was Eminem. And I'll tell you why I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why I think we get a great vocabulary. When I would be writing, I suppose most of the time it's when I was write to a girl to try and chat a girl up. But when I was writing a letter, I didn't want to come across stupid, but I genuinely can't spell. So what happens for a dyslexic is you think, let me think of something. I want to say, oh, you've got beautiful eyes. Now I can't spell beautiful. It's really hard for me. So I'd have to sit there and think, what word describes beautiful but is shorter than beautiful? And so a kind of a catch-22 to someone that with dyslexia that can't write the words and is embarrassed that it makes you look silly is you learn a lot more words that describe a lot more descriptive words to describe something. And so when I'm in a conversation with someone, they go, oh, he's a really intelligent guy. But then if you met me the first time and I just wrote to you, you'd say, oh, bless him, he's not very bright. So which one of those is true? Both of those have met me, but one of those thinks I'm very, very dumb, and one of them thinks I've got a great vocabulary, and so therefore I'm intelligent.
It's not about intelligence, though, is it?
No, exactly. No. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's worth getting into next week, actually. Yeah,
it really is. It really is, isn't it? It's about where, like with me, with numbers swimming around. I'm guessing that with you, it's words swimming around, letters swimming around.
Yeah, can we put this one on ice, guys? Because we're starting to get into this one, and I've got quite a lot of questions on it. So let's leave this one till next week. And
let's do it.
Are we still talking about Les Dawson, or have we?
I realised when we picked Les Dawson, none of us he didn't have much to talk about, unfortunately. But
should we pick a new one?
I've only just got his name spelling right and his name right.
He's not the son of a door, by the way. Just to
sticking with dyslexia. Anyway, I think it's probably time, and luckily I get out of jail free card because I chose that one, even though it was Viv's choice. So I get out. But probably just come to the end of him and bring in someone else, I suppose.
All right, it's Bronze's choice, isn't it now? Or is it Bronze?
You missed out. You know, because it was meant to be you, but then 4D took your place with Les Dawson.
I see.
I think it's you, Viv.
Oh my God! I mean, great. Well, of course, obviously, just that I've got thousands. There are thousands of great British comedians. Let me think. Is it going to be John Cleese? No. Monty Python? No. Some of them are still alive. We're going for dead ones, aren't we? But what about Bob Monkhouse?
Yeah, Bob Monkhouse could be interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, is that blankety blank?
No. It's before blankety blank.
I'll have to look him up again.
Bob Monkhouse was kind of the same era as Les Dawson. He moved into game shows. He used to host The Golden Shot.
Oh, I can see his face now. Yeah,
and he was actually a very good comedian. He was very quick, very smart, very, very, very talented. And I think he passed away quite a few years back now. He had some kind of degenerative disease, I think. But he was another one who's very well respected amongst his peers. What did he do? The Golden Shot. He did some stuff after the Golden Shot. That was early 70s. That was. Do you remember that, Viv? You remember that? Left a bit.
Oh yeah, of course I do. Of course I do.
Yeah.
But what I remember about Bob Monkhouse was that he was really a scholar of humour. He had notebooks, massive amount of notebooks, which he had all the jokes in. He was really an archivist of British humour. I mean, he's also wrote. He did some of my favourite jokes, as well, such as when I told my friends I was going to become a comedian, they all laughed at me. They're not laughing now.
Yeah, very good.
I remember him. Was it Opportunity Knocks or something?
Yeah, he was in
Um,
that.
That
I
was
think, yeah.
Huey Green originally did Opportunity Knocks. I mean that most sincerely, folks. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Huey Green. But yeah, he might have taken it on in later times. But Huey Green was the original guy who did Opportunity Knocks.
Yeah, see, I was aware of him in the 80s. Yeah, he did mostly game show stuff. So it was Celebrity Squares, Family Fortunes, Bob's Full House, and Opportunity Knocks.
Right.
So yeah, I know him from the 80s, not as
Yeah.
the comedian.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, he didn't last too long as an actual sort of standalone comedian. I mean, I don't remember him as a comedian. I only ever remember him as a TV kind of game show host personality type thing. So he's, you probably go back to the 60s when he was doing actual sort of just pure comedic stuff.
Yeah. He was in a few. I think he was in some Carry On films as well.
He did do some films. I'm not sure if he did Carry On, but he definitely did do one or two films. Yeah, that's for sure.
I can see Carry On Sergeant here as I'm looking in the interwebs.
Yes. Oh, you're right. He was in Carry On Sergeant. That's right. Yes.
But
God, and born nearly 100 years ago. When you say it like turns ago, but he was born in 1928. God.
Wow.
Oh my God. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Did a lot of work for charity as well, which wasn't talked about. He did that without any kind of fanfare or publicity, but he was very charitable apparently.
I'm totally impressed by people who do that. I was totally impressed by after the racing driver died. What's his name? James Hunt. And it came out that he put an awful lot. He was a playboy, wasn't he, James Hunt? Really amazing. At one stage in the 70s, every man wanted to be James Hunt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was huge.
He was absolutely huge. He was handsome and just insouciant, and he smoked fags.
He did a lot. He took drugs.
Did the lot.
Yeah.
He took drugs.
Yeah.
He drank beer, but he won races. He was just total glamour,
Wow.
of that time.
Did you know that he wrote or he helped write the Beano and the Dandy?
What?
Who did?
James Hunt.
Monkhouse.
Who?
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
Monkhouse was educated at Goring Hall School, blah blah blah, in West Worthing, Sussex, blah blah blah. He was expelled from school for climbing the clock tower while still at school. Monkhouse wrote for the Beano, the Dandy, and drew for other comics, including Hotspur, Wizard, and the. So he was actually, and I was really into those two. There you go. He wrote the comedy for those two massive magazines.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Very talented man of many talents.
So many of these people we've chosen weren't they?
Yeah.
And they produce these cheap nonsense game shows. They compared the game shows, but you got to make a living, mate. You got to make a living.
Yeah, I mean, game shows ain't what they used to be. Not that they were anything really particularly special, but they certainly these days the quality is just absolute rubbish. There was some redeeming qualities to the game shows back in those days.
Yeah, for sure.
And talking of game shows, wasn't the Dandy like the enemy of the Beano? So he was actually writing for both of them.
I would say, they were competitors, but
sorry,
they were probably both produced by the same publishing house. I would say that was like a psyop in a way.
Probably, because I was a Beano. Well, there's a question: were you a Dandy or were you a Beano? I
was both. But
okay, right.
I never used to buy them, but they used to be around, and if they're around, I used to read them. But I didn't really get into comics until I was a bit older, and I was getting into like war comics, and then I got into sci-fi comics, 2000 AD and stuff like that. Because
Mm.
Beano and Dandy were real sort of very young kids comics, weren't they? They were very.
I love them. I'm the same as you. I love them both. You know.
Yeah. Do you remember also there was Whizzer and Chips? Do you remember that one? That was
Yeah.
another
Oh,
one.
loved it. Loved all that stuff. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And also I notice, and this doesn't surprise me either, that Bob Monkhouse wrote jokes for Bob Hope when he came over to Britain for his tours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. That's
Yeah.
something to tell your grandkids, isn't it?
Yep. No, yeah, okay, let's go with Bob.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to,
yeah. I think I will look into that a bit more, especially on the Dandy and Beano bit, because as you said, I was a young kid when they were around, so I was kind of quite into the. What was the? So you got those two. What was the other two Americans? So you got the Bash Street Kids. No, they were Beano, weren't they?
Yeah, Beano.
there
Yeah,
was Dennis the Menace, wasn't there? Dennis the Menace. There was Dan.
Oh, it was them two. Yeah.
I can't remember which characters were from which comics, but yeah, I remember Lord Snooty. That was another one.
So
Millie.
which was the comic that had the big guy that would eat the cow pies?
That was Dan. Desperate Dan. No, that's Desperate Dan.
Yeah,
Desperate Dan.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. And who was he with?
What?
Which magazine was he with?
I've no idea. I can't remember.
Oh, okay. He might have been on his own. Okay. Yeah.
I used to also like the numbskulls. Do you remember the numbskulls?
Oh yeah.
These
No,
little,
don't know that one. No.
Oh, there were these little creatures who lived inside this guy, and they operated all his that they basically operated everything, all his bodily functions. So you'd have someone operating his eyes, some operating his mouth, and all this sort of stuff. And it's all about, sounds a bit weird, but it was quite funny. Yeah,
loved it. I'm just looking at the Dandy was Scottish, so essentially you've got you're going to get Desperate Dan in that one,
right?
So yeah, it was wonderful. I loved them both actually.
Yeah, Minnie the Minx. Who was she with?
She was with the other one, the Beano. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I have to have a look into Bob Monkhouse and see what interesting information we can discover about him.
Yeah,
discover.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, okay. Well, it's gone. It's gone 10 o'clock now, and what can I say? Except,
can you say? You can say anything you want, Viv.
I have a lot of jokes about unemployed people.
Go on then.
Go on then.
But none of them work.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I ruined that for you.
Yeah, no, you didn't know. It's like a double act, really. I told my therapist I had a fear of commitment. Now she's avoiding me.
If I won the lottery tomorrow, do you know what the first thing I'd buy is?
Go on.
A new bum. My old one's got a hole in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm. Did you hear the guy who invented cough syrup died last week?
No.
Yeah, he was buried without a coffin.
Okay.
That's a definite dad joke. Oh yeah.
It is. Yeah.
That's as bad as what happens to a frog's car when it breaks down.
It croaks.
It gets towed away.
Oh no.
Another dad joke. I just found out I'm colorblind. The news came out of the purple.
Oh, that reminds me of a Two Ronnies joke. When they're doing their news and they report that there's been an accident on the A1. A lorry carrying red paint has collided with a lorry carrying blue paint. Both drivers are now said to be marooned.
Excellent. I went to the library the other day and I asked the librarian if the library had any books on paranoia. She leant over and whispered to me, "They're right behind you."
Yeah.
I can't believe I got fired from my calendar factory job the other day. All I did was take a day off.
Yeah.
Yeah. A classic, an oldie but goodie.
Yeah. I did my first nude painting yesterday. The neighbours weren't happy, but the front door looks great.
If at first you
Speaking of-
don't, if at first you don't succeed, then skydiving is not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to the zoo yesterday. The only animal in there was a dog. Yes, it was a Shih Tzu.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting that.
I always like to look on the bright side of life, and one of my bright sides is that I started out with nothing, and I've still got most of it.
A true optimist.
Yeah.
You know, I recently found out that they don't have the real Mona Lisa in the Louvre in Paris. Turns out it's just a painting.
Oh, okay, right, fair enough. That's a bit of an outside the box joke, I guess.
My gosh.
Oh, the silence is deafening.
That's barely a joke. It's like a sort of postmodern, philosophy almost.
Yeah, well, ask 4D what it was. What was it for? Okay,
none of this makes any sense. It's like money. Money doesn't grow on trees, but how come banks have branches?
Yeah.
Hey. What can we say to end this? It could go on all night.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, exactly. I think we should say it's good night from him and it's good night from them. But I think we've come to an end, and it's gone way past our time.
It has, but it's been very good actually. This
yeah, I enjoyed it. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, fellas.
Yeah. When you
done. Yeah, well done.
Well, good work, chaps.
Yes,
Good work.
Good show. Top hole.
All right, people.
All right, gents. Yeah, take it easy, and I'll speak to you next week.
Yeah. All the best. All the best, my dears. All the best. Ciao. Bye bye, and good night. Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
it's amazing that 4D has one or two friends, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.